What a time to be a Packers fan, man. If you haven't said that at redundancy over the last 30 years, it just keeps getting sweeter for us Packer fans year after year. I'm so excited about what the Packers are going to be doing this season. My name is Jason. If you are new to the channel and have not subscribed yet, I talk everything Packers. So please like and subscribe if you like the content. Let's jump into it. The Green Bay Packers just get away with highway robbery, and we get proof of that yesterday in their win against the Tennessee Titans. It was just 1 month ago. If you recall, the Packers make a trade. Brian Gutekunst goes and trades with the Tennessee Titans to bring in a quarterback, Malik Willis. Why? Well, it says right here the Packers held a summer-long competition between second-year pro Sean Clifford and rookie Michael Pratt to serve as Love's backup, a job Clifford held last season as a rookie. The Packers drafted Clifford in the 5th round, and they drafted Pratt in the 7th round. But the Green Bay Packers didn't quite like what they saw in either guy throughout the preseason. It felt like neither guy wanted to win that job. So the Packers, Brian Gutekunst is like, hey, listen, there's a need there, so let's go and make a trade because there's rumblings coming out of Tennessee that they might not want to keep 3 quarterbacks on their roster, and we see the potential in a guy out of Liberty that was drafted in the 3rd round, Malik Willis. We see the potential. We know we've got the coaching staff around that to bring the best out of this dude. So what do the Packers do? They go and get him. Here's what Matt LaFleur had to say about Malik Willis yesterday. He said, I just can't articulate the job that he's done in a short period of time. Man, talk about that. I mean, he didn't take a snap in the preseason with the Packers, and he goes in there and he's asked to do a huge task for the Packers, and he does it to almost to perfection. The job that Matt LaFleur asked him to do last week and then this week, he does it to perfection. He goes on to say, people can't fathom it. I promise you, you guys don't get it. I know you think you get it, but you don't get it. What he's been able to do, I've never seen anything like that, man. Again, hearing something like that coming out of Matt LaFleur's mouth about Malik Willis, and we're able to see the results of what they're able to do. But kudos and hats off to Brian Gutekunst for seeing the need there, not feeling, like they could have gone with Sean Clifford. They could have gone with Michael Pratt and been probably decent, but they bring in a guy like Malik Willis who's able to do a lot, not just through the air, but with his feet. And what a story it's been. Who would have thought we would have had to call on him as early as week 2, and the Packers have to. And then you put coaches around him like Matt LaFleur and like Tom Clements. What better 2 guys? I said that a couple of weeks ago when they brought him in. What 2 better guys to help bring out the best in Malik Willis than Matt LaFleur and Tom Clements? So, man, it's just a sweet time to be a Packers fan. And Malik Willis just looks the part, doing all of the right things, getting a victory, securing a win again without Jordan Love. Jordan Love clearly is the starter in Green Bay. I'm not taking anything away from that, but man, Malik Willis, if God forbid anything happens to Jordan Love, Malik Willis proved that he's able to step in there and not just be a game manager and hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs, but he's able to do more, as he proved yesterday. Again, their 30-14 win over the Tennessee Titans. The Green Bay Packers looked super good in this game. On that opening drive, I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. The Tennessee Titans, uh, they're just driving at will down the field, and the Packers get their crap together. Jeff Hafley looked did you notice anything in the run game for the Tennessee Titans? Rushing yards for the Titans, 33 rushing yards. The Packers cleaned that up, giving up a whole lot of rushing yards against Philly in week 1, and then what they gave up last week. But the Packers much improved, 33 rushing yards total for the Tennessee Titans. Let's look at player stats. Malik Willis, again, almost throwing another flawless game here, 13 of 19, 202 yards and a touchdown. And then he gets another touchdown with his legs. Malik Willis, 6 carries, 73 yards and a touchdown, but making great decisions. If you noticed yesterday, as opposed to the last week, he was staying in the pocket more. He just looked more confident. Looked like he wanted to do something with his arm rather than just getting down with his legs. And he does that. 6 carries, 73 yards, touchdown. He does it both. Emmanuel Wilson, 12 carries, 50 yards. They kept Josh Jacobs at bay, 14 carries, 43 yards. He had a couple of runs that he broke out, but in another video, I'm going to talk about their O-line. That was the biggest, by far the biggest disappointment for me in this game on so many levels. I'm going to break that down in another video, but Josh Jacobs, 14 carries, 43 yards. Jaden Reed, 2 for 19. He looked super good. They bring in Chris Brooks in garbage time. He's just, whatever. He's going to look good over time. Christian Watson finally gets involved in the passing game, 2 receptions, 67 yards. Jaden Reed, 4 for 50. Man, you can't say enough about Jaden Reed, too. Jaden Reed is just one of those dudes that is just getting it done week after week after week. And he has taken a bruising, and we're probably going to see him on the injury report again this week, but he keeps getting coming in there game time and just making things happen, not just with his legs, but also through the air. So Emmanuel Wilson, 2 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. He looked super good. He looked quick. Bounced back from last week's performance. Tucker Kraft, 2 receptions, 24 yards. More so for Tucker Kraft, this dude just does it all. He gets it done he it feels like one of our best offensive linemen at times. Romeo Doubs, 1 for 18. Let's go down defensively. You've got Isaiah McDuffie. I thought bounced back from last week's performance as well. He looked super good in this one. Quay Walker, another disappointing performance for Quay Walker out there. Now, I thought last night. Eric Stokes gave up a lot to Hopkins, but whatever. It is what it is. He can fill the need out there at corner. I don't see him sticking around in Green Bay unless he had some outstanding year. I just don't see it happening. Jair Alexander gets it done with a pick six. Really like Jair Alexander. I really do. The dude has so much talent there. Yes, the Packers have invested so much money into this dude, and we really haven't seen the return on investment. However, Jair Alexander, I think, is going to flourish. He already has 2 interceptions up from, let's bounce to Jair Alexander. Let's look at last year's stat line for him. 7 games played, 22 solo tackles. He's already got 10 this year. But if you look at interceptions last year, it's a blank slate there, 0. He's already got 2, and he's got a pick 6 this year. So much improved already. We're already seeing that he's already tied. He had back in 2019, he had 2 interceptions, and obviously 2022 was his biggest year with 5 interceptions. You may see another performance like that 2022 year for Jair Alexander. So let's bounce back to Xavier McKinney again. Another interception for this dude. The Packers keep getting turnovers. Now, Jeff Hafley said, hey, the biggest thing that we're going to focus on here is going to be getting turnovers. And the Packers have done it week after week after week. And they keep proving that they are a legit defense that's going to cause and create turnovers. And they had 8 sacks yesterday. The Packers jumping up, almost in company with the Minnesota Vikings, who's leading the league with sacks. Packers looked super good defensively. And now, again, I know they were playing against Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans, but that offense is actually super stout. We're going to take a look at that here in a second. But you got Devontae Wyatt, I think, is just going to have a monster year. He gets it done again. He had 2 sacks. Preston Smith had 2 sacks. Kingsley Egnabari had a monster game, 1.5 sacks. Lucas Van Ness got involved, not just with the 1 sack, but he had some pressures. Edrin Cooper had a half sack to go along with Isaiah McDuffie's half sack. So let's take a look defensively and the leaders. So the Packers, as far as giving up yards, the Packers were going into that game one of the bottom dwellers. Now they're about middle of the pack right here, allowing 328 yards a game total. Rushing, so the Packers were near the bottom. Now they are at near, closer to the top than the middle, averaging, allowing 105.7 per game. And then passing yards per game, the Packers are about middle of the road right there. Now, they've played against some really talented wide receivers out there. And then you've got sacks. Green Bay was near the bottom last week. Now the Minnesota Vikings on top at 16. The Minnesota Vikings just looked good again, embarrassing the Houston Texans. I mean, Minnesota they look good. And who would have thought that going into this year? Green Bay Packers right now tied for 11, or tied at 11 sacks right there, tied for fifth. So that is much improved. The Green Bay Packers, and they're leading the league in takeaways. So that's the biggest thing right there for us Packer fans. But leave your comments. Let me know. Are you guys excited as I am about that highway robbery? Packers just giving up a seventh round draft pick to get Malik Willis. I love it. And as always, go Pack, go.